finally getting to the third season of Star Trek, the original series, What to Watch, What to Skip, just in time, or just before the 60th anniversary, which is this September. So I've been doing a lot of AI slop lately. That's been doing really well. The AI shorts that I made with Sora. So I've been focusing on that a bit. But I did want to complete this before the anniversary, which I think for Star Trek, the original series, which I think is in September. So I wanted to finish this up. So this is Star Trek original series season 3. You can watch it on Paramount Plus in America. Not sure where it is internationally, but you can watch it in the U.S. on Paramount Plus. So let's start off. And season 3 is notorious because Gene Roddenberry quit or was was put aside, and they had another producer come in, and they moved the time slot to Friday. And this was all after fans had written in to say, hey, we want a third season of Star Trek. So they did agree to doing a third season, and so we got 23 episodes for the season, 24 episodes for the season. And this is the final season, broadcasting from 1968 to 1969. Starting off with Spock's brain, which is divides a lot of fans. It being a silly episode where they have to, some aliens steal Spock's brain to run their computer, and they have an interesting society where the women are sort of in control, and they use the computer to. It's like the teacher, their learning machine. So they use the computer to control the men who live on the surface, and they get all their knowledge from that. This is also kind of a sexist episode because they call the women, the men on the surface, call the women the bringers of pleasure and pain, because they're in control, and I guess they make their lives difficult, and but they're also they need them to reproduce. So that's why they call them the bringers of pleasure and pain. And this is sometimes you'll hear Star Trek fans saying, brain and brain, what is brain? And it comes from this episode. So they steal Spock's brain to replace the teacher computer is dying, and they need Spock's brain to run it. And this is Spock. They take Spock's body. They have like a autonomous unit there to help run his body while his brain is missing. So his body's walking around with that thing on his head to keep it moving, so they can control his body while they try to get his brain back from these aliens. Aliens who look like humans, and so it's But I think it's a cute episode. People think it's silly, and a lot of fans think it's silly and they hate it. But I think it's fun and definitely worth watching. The next one is the Enterprise incident, which is another good one where they steal the cloaking device from the Romulans. The Romulans are, known for the cloaking device. Some reason the Federation doesn't have one, so they steal it. They steal it from the Romulans. And in Next Generation, they have a story that explains why the Federation never actually incorporates the cloaking device into their ships. And then that's followed. So that's one to watch. 2, I think Paradise Syndrome's okay for one viewing. It's about aliens preserve Native Americans on this other planet because we were killing them off, and when Europe invaded America and British colonies and Dutch colonies came to America, we were killing off the poor Native Americans. So they bring them to so aliens apparently lifted them off and brought them to another world to help preserve them and their culture. And they're on this planet which is in danger, I guess, from meteor strike every so often. So there's like a machine, so they're standing behind this like a monument, but it's a machine that's to keep the meteors away, and it malfunctions. And Kirk has amnesia, and they have to find Kirk, get his memories back, and then figure out how to make the meteor destroying machine work. So I think it's okay for one viewing. And another one that a lot of people don't like is And Children Shall Lead. And I think this little child actress was in everything in the 60s and 70s, and then she was by the time 80s rolled around, she was in nothing. She was in I think it's Pamela Ferdin, I think her name is, or Pamela Ferdin. And she was the voice of Lucy for some of the Peanuts cartoons. She was on Lassie, the syndicated show for Lassie, and then in the 70s, and she was also in something called Space Academy, I think, which was a Filmation live-action series that had Jonathan Harris from Lost in Space in it. So she was in a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden she was in nothing. She moved on from acting, or I don't know what the story was. The roles dried up, and she didn't bother to pursue acting anymore. In this one, there's a alien, I think it's called the Gorgon, and he controls these children from this colony, and they go to pick the colony up, and the alien entity follows them. And it kind of looks, the actor, it looks like the Alan Hale Jr. from Gilligan's Island a bit, that actor, but it's not him. That's why I thought, is that Alan Hale? It's another actor who appears as, it looks like he's it's like a human head with it's got like a shower curtain, kind of a round shower curtain body or something like that, and appears like it's a special effect, and it's kind of funky. And a lot of, this is a kid-centric episode, so I don't think a lot of Trekkers don't like this one. I think I like this one as a kid, definitely, and it's worth watching, I think. Is there in truth no beauty? And this one has Diana Muldaur later became Catherine Pulaski in the Next Generation series, a different character. Here she plays Dr. Miranda Jones, and she's accompanying an alien called a Medusa, who people can't look at because they go crazy when they look at it. And she can handle it because she's blind. And this one I never aired that I saw on Channel 11. It's one of those ones I either always missed or maybe didn't hold my attention as a kid. But I've never recalled seeing this episode until home video came out. And I think this one you can skip. I don't think it's really that great. Then there's Spectre of the Gun, which is about, at the time when Star Trek was airing, Westerns were still #1 Gunsmoke, and Bonanza were like the #1 shows at the time. And so they have a Westerns about aliens, and they have to recreate the OK Corral, and it's kind of surreal. And it's okay for one viewing, I think. I don't like it as a kid because I couldn't follow it, but as an adult, I thought it was okay. And it's funny, Doctor Who has an OK Corral episode too. It's so weird that it's like a very important story of the American West. But I'm not familiar with the whole thing, but it's recreated here, and it's also in an awful Doctor Who episode from the first Doctor back in the 60s too. And that's followed by Day of the Dove is like an entity that causes people to be fighting, causes a conflict between the Star Trek crew and some Klingons. There's a female Klingon in the background there of that picture. She's very, very different from the Klingons in the Next Generation and in the movies and now. So it's kind of interesting, but I think it's a skippable episode. And this is another For the World is Hollow, and I've touched the sky. I think and I've touched the sky. And this is people are inside a giant spaceship that's like a planet-sized spaceship, and they're not aware of it. And then they have to, I guess it's on a collision course or something along those lines, and they have to save the people of this planet who don't realize that they're inside a giant spaceship. or planet-sized spaceship. So this one again never aired on Channel 11. Again, I saw it on home video. And I really saw the Tholian Web, and when I did, and so I saw the S5 Tholian Web. This one was a confusing one with Kirk stuck in like a parallel universe and board a derelict spaceship, and then the Tholians come in and they make things more difficult for them. And I forget what the horror's role in this is, but it's I think it's a skippable one overall. They bring the Tholians back, I think, for the Enterprise or one of those. But and in the original one, they look like it's like a Dayglow matte painting. That's the aliens, the Tholians. But I think they spruce it up a bit for the remastered copy for the so it looks like it moves a little bit. And it was a strange alien race too. The Tholians. You only see them on the viewing screen from the Enterprise. You don't really see. They talk to them only that way, and they're like again a strange entity. And there's Plato Steptoe. This is another one this is one that was always on Channel 11, and if it was like a game rained out again, this one would be one of the ones that they would show. And this is notorious because it has a kiss between Captain Kirk and Uhura, so it's supposed to be the first interracial kiss on TV, supposedly, and it's been good for one viewing, but that's about it. I've seen it like a million times because they reran it always on Channel 11, and it's one viewing's good enough for that one. Again, I think another one that fans don't like too much, but I like this one. It's about an alien race. This one is one of the aliens there talking to Captain Kirk that moves fast, like in a faster time stream than everybody else. So they're like buzzing around them, and because they're moving so fast, and they want to hijack the Enterprise, and they have to figure out how to stop them. And I think that's what that was. I like this episode. A lot of people don't. There's the Empath, which is a slow-moving, not very good episode. I think. So there's like a love interest for, I don't know, there's like an empathic woman that's kind of a love interest for Bones, I think. I don't remember too much about the episode. It's not very good. It's about aliens abduct an empathic woman, and then abduct some of the Enterprise crew here, and they have to deal with it, and I think it's rather boring. I don't remember the details of it. Elan of Troilus is another one that they aired constantly on Channel 11. I always ran into this one, and it's about a woman whose tears, Captain Kirk falls under the spell of this Elan of Troilus, who's the leader of this planet, and her tears are like hypnotic. They can, once they get on you, they're like a poison. Once they get on you, you're like enthralled with Elan of Troilus. And so it's about her ability to control Captain Kirk, interfering with Enterprise operations. And so that's one. That's why it's my good for one viewing. I never liked that episode. Then there's a famous one, Whom Gods Destroy. Then there's this famous one, Whom Gods Destroy, which was, there's a controversy where there was this fan who's from Scarsdale, probably didn't grow up too far from where I grew up, who wanted to do this Star Trek Axanar, or whatever it's called, and they had a back and forth legal battle with them. I think he's still producing it or something. Who the hell knows? I wonder if that's why they set this Discovery in that timeline, too, to make a canonical version of Axanar. I don't know what the whole thing is with that, but they were... the villain in this is a deranged starship captain who develops like super psychic powers, and he's on a prison colony with other evil aliens like this green, or I guess she's an Orion, who's played by the actress who played Batgirl, Yvonne Craig, is in this. She's kind of a seductress too in this one, and it was interesting to see her in another role other than Batgirl. I've seen her too many roles other than Batgirl. So this one I think is a good one. I think it's considered a classic, and I enjoyed it. It's fun to watch, and inspired this guy because the captain that goes crazy in this one, he can shapeshift. I think that's what his powers are. That's Captain Garth, who's a hero who's one of Kirk's heroes. I had to look it up. I forgot his name. So Captain Garth. So this guy from Scarsdale is Captain Garth in his little fan film there, and he's still I think he's still producing it, and he's still going back and forth with the Paramount. It's like sued him to not make the show. It's funny. Anyway, and then let that be your last battlefield. It's this is the black and white cookie aliens who they reveal like they're so you can't tell. It's hard to tell what their differences are. And one is white on the left side and black on the right, and the other one is the opposite. So that's their difference, and they hate each other, and everybody's they're about to destroy their own world because of racial hatred. So it's an anti-racism episode, and it's skippable really. It's very much I guess of the time of the '60s. I mean, a lot of things haven't changed, but it's just not. It's a good it's a good intentions for the episode, but it's not really that well executed. And there's Mark of Gideon, which is about overpopulated. It's an overpopulated world. That was another theme a lot of times in science fiction about overpopulation. People were really concerned about overpopulation at one time, and now it doesn't seem to be a concern because if we aren't enough people, then who do you tax? That's the big problem. So they want people to make lots of babies. And Mark of Gideon, there's too many people in this world, and they want to get themselves sick, and Kirk carries some disease that would kill a lot of them. So it's not overall not a very good one. And I think again that was one that I never saw until the home video came out. That which survives starts Lee Merriweather as this alien. She's like they're like robots. I think that they're generated by this machine, and it says a deadly computer image protects a long dead outpost. So she has to protect this outpost, and realizing that she really doesn't serve a purpose. I think because everybody's dead already on the outpost. I enjoyed this episode. I think they have one crew member with an Italian-American sounding name, or Italian sounding name. So I thought that was you didn't hear much of that in Star Trek. And then Lights of Zedar is I think it's another love interest for Scotty, who winds up dead. I think he had one in that Wolf in the Fold, and there's another one that bites the dust here. And this is a boring one. You could skip that one. Requiem for Methuselah I like. It's about a guy who's pretty much immortal, and he grew up on Earth, but he's immortal, and he winds up on his own little planet with his android companion here, and it's about Kirk interfering in his little idyllic life there on his planet. And I enjoyed that one. I can't remember the details that much, but I enjoyed that one. And This Way to Eden, I guess, is that it's very much a hippie culture, a commentary on hippie culture and drug culture in America. But it's like that. There's the bad guys like kind of like Timothy Leary, who's big on that everybody should do drugs and expand their mind and whatnot. And it's like a hippie cult that's like that. And it's very much a product of its time. I think a lot of people don't like this episode, and I think it's a skippable one too. Clown Miners is a strange one, but one of my friends likes the actress in this. She's a very pretty actress. I don't think she had much of a career outside of appearing in the Star Trek episode. She's very pretty though, and that's probably the most interesting thing about the episode. And I can't. It's kind of a convoluted plot. I don't remember the details of it. It's okay. You can watch it one time. It won't kill you. And it's a Savage Curtain, which about this is I like the alien in this. It's like a rock creature, a creature that kind of morphs out of a rock. And it's a pretty neat practical special effect considering it's the 60s. There's no CGI. The alien was really neat. The premise is kind of silly. It's like the aliens don't understand good and evil, and so Lincoln is the representation of good. And there's some ancient Vulcan sage that appears in the episode too, and they're pitted against Klingons and some other evil people from history, and they want to decide who's good and who's evil. It's kind of a little bit of a silly premise, but the rock creature was impressive, and other than that, it's pretty skippable. Yesterday's another one that they used to show a lot on Channel 11. This is Mr. Atos. He's a librarian, but he actually he's a librarian of time portals to different. So this is a dying planet, and the residents all went back in time to different periods in their history to escape the destruction of the planet. So that's what Mr. Atos. I think there's multiple Mr. Atoses, and they maintain the library, but it's a library of time portals. It's not real. It's no books in this library. It's okay for one viewing. You're gonna see it a million times because there's no one that we ran forever on Channel 11. And it's finally, Turnabout Intruder kind of ends on a silly note. Star Trek with, I forget the name of this character, but she's a rival of Captain Kirk, and she's upset that she didn't get to be a Starfleet captain, and she switches bodies with Kirk. It's like Freaky Friday, Star Trek's feminist Freaky Friday episode, and it's I enjoyed it. It's kind of a surprising, it would have liked something more epic for the ending for the original series, but it's a funny episode anyway, or unintentionally so, but it's interesting enough to keep you engaged, so it's good for at least one viewing. So that wraps up what to watch, what to skip for Star Trek, the original series. I don't think there's too much of Next Generation and the other ones to do. This is a special fondness for the original series in my heart because it's the one I grew up with. So there's a lot of nostalgia and a lot of uniqueness, and that's as I said, it's the operating word for the original series is that it's original, and it's a unique, one of a kind show, especially for its time, and it's amazing that it got produced at all. And I think its impact on TV and pop culture in general has been substantial, and it's a very important show. So I hope you at least check out the episodes I recommended, and I think it's definitely worth your time even if you don't like older shows. All right, that's it, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching my channel. I'm gonna have some more AI slop coming up, and I don't know what I'm doing in terms of I have other things planned for my regular content too. I just don't have time to film them. That's the only problem. All right, hope to see you next time, and please, if you can, please subscribe. Please like this video, and this way I can hopefully grow the channel. The AI slop's doing a lot of people hate it, but it's been very helpful for me. So I hope you guys will so whatever content you like. I hope you will subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Matt's Sci-Fi blog. Please subscribe so he can quit his regular job by monetizing post haste. It's Spaceman Matt.